What is the exact biological reason behind the noisy snorting, wheezing, and heavy snoring that your French Bulldog makes every single day? And how can you tell the difference between a normal flat-faced sound and a dangerous breathing emergency? How can you properly manage their environment, weight, and daily activities using simple steps that keep their narrow airways open and protect their sensitive hearts from failing in the hot summer weather? Hi, welcome back to Paw and Order. My name is Carl, and I am gonna teach you why your French Bulldog is breathing so loudly. These little dogs are incredibly loving and famous for their bat-like ears, but their unique flat faces mean that breathing can sometimes be a massive, noisy struggle. In this video, we are going to break down this complex medical topic into a completely fresh, easy to understand guide, so you can protect your favorite furry friend with absolute confidence. To truly understand why your French Bulldog breathes so loudly, you must first learn about a specific medical condition known as brachycephalic obstructive airway syndrome, which professionals call BOAS for short. The word brachycephalic simply means short-headed, which describes how the bones in a Frenchie's face have been compressed tightly backward, while the soft tissues inside their mouth and throat have stayed the same size. Because of this structural design, all the soft tissues are crowded together into a very small, restricted space, creating a natural obstacle course for any air trying to move down into their lungs. This crowding causes the passing air to spin, vibrate, and bounce violently against the flesh of their throat, which creates the characteristic snorting, grunting, and snoring noises you hear constantly. This is not just a funny quirk of the breed, it is a direct physical result of their specialized anatomy working extra hard, against resistance just to pull oxygen into their bodies. By understanding this unique physical layout right from the start, you are taking the first professional step toward managing your dog's lifelong comfort and safety. The first specific physical issue causing this loud noise is a condition called stenotic nares, which is just a professional medical term for incredibly narrow or collapsed nostrils. If you look closely at your French Bulldog's nose, you might notice that the nostril openings are tiny, thin slits rather than wide, round circles like you would see on a golden retriever or a German shepherd. Because these nasal openings are so small and pinched together, your dog has to use a massive amount of physical effort and suction just to pull air through their nose when they inhale. This high-pressure suction forces the nostrils to collapse inward even further, creating a whistling or snorting sound every time they take a breath, during a walk or a nap. Think of it like trying to breathe through a tiny, pinched straw all day long. It takes a lot of work, makes a lot of noise, and tires out your body very quickly. Checking the shape of your Frenchie's nostrils is a simple visual step that tells you exactly how hard they are working just to complete a basic breath. The second hidden culprit behind the loud breathing sounds inside your French Bulldog's throat is a structural abnormality known as an elongated soft palate. The soft palate is the flexible, fleshy flap of tissue that sits at the very back of the roof of the mouth, acting as a natural gate to stop food from entering the windpipe when an animal swallows. In a flat-faced breed like a Frenchie, this fleshy flap is often way too long for their short skulls, causing it to dangle loosely down into the back of the throat like a wet curtain. When your dog inhales and exhales, the moving air catches this dangling tissue, causing it to flap, vibrate, and rattle violently against the walls of their airway, creating a loud, wet snoring or gurgling noise. This constant vibration causes the soft tissue to become inflamed, swollen, and even thicker over time, which narrows the breathing passage even further, and makes the noises progressively louder as the dog grows older. This specific issue is the main reason why Frenchies snore so loudly, even when they are completely awake and sitting perfectly still on your lap. Another major anatomical factor that contributes to the noisy breathing of a French Bulldog is a condition involving hypoplastic trachea, which means they possess an abnormally narrow windpipe. The trachea is the main tube made of sturdy cartilage rings that carries vital oxygen directly from the throat down into the lungs, so the body can function healthily. In many French Bulldogs, these cartilage rings are malformed or compressed, making the entire tube significantly smaller in diameter than what is normal for a dog of their weight. When a large volume of air is forced through a very narrow tube, the speed of the air increases rapidly, creating a loud, harsh wheezing or honking sound as they breathe heavily during exercise. This narrow windpipe places a continuous, heavy strain on their lungs and heart, as their internal systems must work twice as hard to pump oxygen through a restricted pipeline. Knowing that your dog's internal breathing tubes are naturally smaller helps you realize why gentle care and low-stress activities are absolutely vital for their long-term health. Now that you know the structural reasons behind the loud noises, the absolute first step in your professional care routine is to strictly manage your French Bulldog's body weight with total precision. Because their airways are already heavily crowded and restricted, carrying even 1 or 2 extra pounds of body fat can turn a mild breathing issue into a life-threatening medical emergency. Excess fat deposits accumulate rapidly around the neck and throat area, placing heavy physical pressure on their windpipe, and making it significantly harder for them to expand their lungs fully. You must feed your Frenchie a high-quality, measured diet and completely avoid giving them fatty human table scraps, or too many sugary treats, no matter how much they beg with their big eyes. Keep a written log of their weight, and use a digital scale to ensure they stay lean, as a slim Frenchie will always breathe much easier, make far less noise, and live a much longer life by your side. Keeping your dog at an ideal weight is the single most powerful, life-saving medicine you can provide using simple daily choices. The second vital step in your summer care routine is to protect your French Bulldog from the extreme dangers of overheating, as their flat faces make it impossible for them to cool down effectively. Dogs do not sweat like humans. They rely almost entirely on heavy panting and moving air over their long tongues to evaporate moisture and lower their core body temperature. Because a Frenchie's airway is crowded with overlapping tissue, their panting is highly inefficient, meaning they cannot release heat quickly, and can experience heatstroke in less than 10 minutes of warm weather. You must keep your French Bulldog indoors inside a cool, air-conditioned room whenever the outside temperature climbs above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring they have plenty of cold water to drink. Never take them for long walks or force them to play in the backyard during the hot afternoon sun, as the heat will cause their throat tissues to swell rapidly, cutting off their oxygen supply completely. Treat the summer heat as a major hazard, and always make sure your dog has a cold, shaded sanctuary where their body can relax safely. To keep your loud-breathing French Bulldog fit and active, without causing a breathing crisis, you must completely abandon traditional neck collars and switch to a supportive, high-quality body harness. A neck collar places direct, concentrated pressure on your dog's windpipe every time they pull on the leash, which can easily crush their fragile cartilage rings and cause their crowded throat to close up instantly. A professional body harness distributes all the pulling force evenly across their strong chest and shoulders, leaving their neck completely free of pressure, and protecting their airway from accidental trauma. When you go out for exercise, keep your walks short, gentle, and slow, allowing your Frenchie to sniff around and enjoy the fresh air, without getting their heart rate up too high. If you ever notice your dog slowing down, sitting down on the pavement, or gasping with a wide, blue-tinted tongue, you must stop immediately, lift them up in your arms, and carry them home into the air conditioning. Transitioning to a harness is an incredibly easy step that prevents unnecessary choking and keeps their breathing path perfectly safe. Creating a peaceful, low-stress sleeping environment is another essential step that can dramatically reduce the intensity of your French Bulldog's loud snoring and nighttime wheezing. You should provide an orthopedic dog bed that features a built-in, raised bolster pillow around the edges, which allows your Frenchie to naturally rest their head at an elevated angle while they sleep. Elevating their head helps pull their heavy tongue and elongated soft palate forward out of the back of their throat, using natural gravity, opening up their airway and allowing air to flow smoothly. You can also place a cool mist humidifier near their sleeping area to add clean moisture to the air, which prevents their crowded nasal passages from becoming dry, crusty, and irritated overnight. Keeping the air clean and their head elevated reduces the loud rattling sounds of their breathing, ensuring both you and your beloved pet can enjoy a deep, uninterrupted night of restful sleep. Simple adjustments to their bedroom layout can create a massive improvement in their daily comfort levels and respiratory health. As a dedicated and observant owner, you must learn to recognize the clear difference between their everyday noisy breathing and a severe, acute respiratory emergency that requires an immediate trip to an exotic animal veterinarian. Everyday Frenchie sounds include soft snorting when they are excited, light grunting when they jump onto the sofa, and steady snoring when they are sleeping deeply on their backs. However, if you hear a sharp, high-pitched stridor sound that sounds like a whistle, or if your dog is gasping for air with their chest muscles pumping violently inward, they are in deep trouble. Other critical warning signs include foaming at the mouth, vomiting up white froth, pale or blue-colored gums, and a total lack of energy or collapsing on the floor. If your dog exhibits any of these dangerous symptoms, you must never wait to see if they get better. Move them into a cold vehicle immediately, and drive straight to an emergency animal hospital. Knowing these symptoms by heart allows you to act as a brave, professional protector for your pet when every single second counts. In many modern cases, a professional veterinarian might recommend a safe surgical procedure to correct these physical airway blockages and give your French Bulldog a completely new lease on life. This routine surgery is often performed when the dog is young, and it involves a skilled surgeon using a precise laser to trim away a small piece of the narrow nostril edges to open up the nasal passages. The surgeon can also carefully shorten the elongated soft palate so it no longer hangs down into the windpipe, completely clearing the pathway for fresh air to reach the lungs without resistance. While surgery can sound very scary to a pet owner, these simple corrections can instantly eliminate the loud, painful struggling noises and stop the long-term strain on their heart. If your Frenchie is diagnosed with severe BOAs by a specialist, exploring these medical options is a highly responsible and professional way to ensure they can live a happy, active life. Consulting with an expert veterinarian helps you gather all the facts, so you can make the absolute best choice for your dog's future comfort. Cleanliness inside your home is another critical factor that directly impacts how loudly and comfortably your short-nosed companion can breathe throughout the year. Because French Bulldogs have very short nasal passages, they lack the natural filtering systems that long-nosed dogs use to trap airborne dust, pollen, mold, and dander before it enters the lungs. This means that a dusty room or a smoky environment can instantly trigger severe allergic reactions, causing the sensitive lining of their nose and throat to swell up and become clogged with mucus. You should vacuum your carpets regularly, wash their soft bedding once a week, using unscented soap, and avoid using strong chemical air fresheners, scented candles, or smoking cigarettes near your pet. Investing in a high-quality HEPA air purifier for your living room is a fantastic, professional step that constantly removes invisible irritants from the air, allowing your dog to inhale pure, clean oxygen. A clean home environment functions as an external shield for their sensitive respiratory system, reducing noisy inflammation and keeping their breathing silent and smooth. Using interactive mental games and gentle puzzle toys during the peak hours of the day is a magnificent way to burn off your French Bulldog's energy without risking physical overexertion or airway distress. Because these dogs are highly intelligent and curious, they can become easily bored and frustrated if they are forced to stay still indoors all day to protect them from the warm weather. You can fill a durable rubber toy with healthy, low-calorie wet food and freeze it overnight, creating a chilled puzzle that will keep them quietly entertained for an hour as they lick it clean. You can also hide their favorite dry kibble pieces inside a soft snuffle mat, encouraging them to use their powerful sense of smell to forage for their dinner at a slow, peaceful pace. These brain exercises tire out your dog's mind completely, without getting their heart racing or causing them to pant heavily, keeping their body entirely safe and calm inside your home. It is a brilliant, professional alternative to long-running sessions, combining safety and happiness into one simple indoor routine. Let us do a final, professional review of our ultimate French Bulldog loud breathing checklist, to ensure you have all the easy steps completely memorized for your future success. Step 1. Understand that their short head structure naturally crowds the throat tissues, causing everyday air vibrations that create snorting, grunting, and snoring sounds. Step 2. Maintain an absolute, lean body weight through strict portion control, to remove dangerous fat pressure from their narrow windpipe and throat area. Step 3. Keep your dog inside a cool, air-conditioned environment, during warm weather, to prevent rapid swelling of their airways and avoid life-threatening heatstroke. Step 4. Always use a supportive chest harness, instead of a neck collar during walks, keeping your exercise sessions short, slow, and completely low stress. Step 5. Elevate their head during sleep using a bolster bed, keep your home free of dust and strong fragrances, and learn the early warning signs of a breathing emergency. By executing these simple, practical steps with total consistency and love, you are guaranteeing that your unique flat-faced friend will enjoy a safe, comfortable, and wonderfully vibrant life by your side. Thank you so much for spending this valuable time with me today at Paw and Order, to master the professional secrets of caring for a loud-breathing French Bulldog properly and safely. Remember that your beautiful, bat-eared companion depends entirely on your daily choices, to provide a world that is cool, calm, pristine, and completely safe for their unique airway needs. I am Carl, and I am incredibly proud of your deep dedication to animal welfare. Caring for a brachycephalic dog is a magnificent responsibility that changes our lives, making us much more patient, organized, and observant caretakers every single day. Keep your harness ready, your home air-conditioned, your water bowls filled with ice, and your heart completely open to the affectionate, funny personality of your wonderful Frenchie friend.